Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
Calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels. Calling all angels. Calling all you angels.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Rated R for Recovery at our website, ratedrforrecovery.com. But most importantly, YouTube. We are on YouTube live every Tuesday night starting at 6 p.m. The shows are also archived on YouTube, so you can go back and watch past episodes if you like. I'm an addict. My name's John.
Hi, John.
My co-host is sitting next to me, and she is.
I'm an alcoholic. My name is Joy. Welcome to the show.
So, Joy,
Yes,
are
dear.
you ready to
Well-
explain to the audience what Rated R for Recovery is?
I was ready for a minute. Rated R for Recovery is a recovery-based, faith-driven program, bringing hope, healing, and restoration to individuals impacted by addiction and their families. Through interviews, sharing information, and entertainment, we strive to be a catalyst for change for all who wish to recover.
Very nice. So that's who we are, and where we are is at 507 Center Road in South Fort Myers. We do the show out of what we affectionately call the KRZ Studio, which is Kimmy's Recovery Zone in South Fort Myers. We have a couple of announcements. Joy, are you ready?
You go first.
I'll go for Okay, so the first one is an annual event that Kimmy's Recovery Zone does every year. It's called Party in the Park. This year is no exception. September 12th, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning at the Lake Kennedy Center on Santa Barbara Boulevard in Cape Coral, Florida. I say the word Florida because we're a worldwide podcast, ladies and gentlemen, so you could be listening in Austria or Venezuela and not know what I'm talking about. So we're in Southwest Florida. And Al Kinkle started this wonderful organization years ago. He's the founder, and it is a tremendous outreach, Joy.
I know, especially in this community and in the counties surrounding Southwest Florida, and we try to reach out, and anyone can start programs like these and do those in their communities too.
You mean podcasts or outreach centers?
Everything, do it all. Just
We
do
can
it all.
do it all. And so what Al's vision was to provide Narcan. He lost a daughter to an overdose, and which is a tragedy that no parent should have to go through. Unfortunately, in this nation or across the world, it is all too common. So to help people survive, there's a drug called Narcan that is right here. And if you can see that or zoom into that, in the back in the production booth, this is a life-saving piece of equipment here. And they provide it to schools, to treatment centers, to hospitals, in the hands to first responders, and it helps to save millions of lives across country. Joy, you have something now?
I got a couple things that are going on locally. There's a program called WRAP, W-R-A-P, Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and for Grief Unspoken, a safe and caring space to share, heal, and find hope. And it is here at Kimmy's every Wednesday from 3 to 4. If you're having some grief issues, you may think that you don't want to talk about it and that you isolate and stay alone, but there's a whole community of people willing to open their arms and let you share about it and just be. And there's also I Thrive for substance abuse disorders, people who want to come in and share their approaches to life and just recognizing problems. And it's here Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m. You can contact at kimmysrecoveryzone.org.
Very nice. So we'll get right to the program right now. I have a husband and wife as our first guest, Joy.
All right.
Yes, and please welcome Mike and Lillian to the show. So actually, your camera is right there, so when they'll switch off to there, you can see them. So let's have a little bit of the background for the two of you. Who wants to start and where you, first of all, what year did you meet?
We met in 2002, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least
You better know, Mike.
in recovery.
Yeah.
And you
We
both
were
were
recovering, so I don't quite remember. So,
And
Did you both have
were,
more than a year?
And you both were in recovery with over
Long-term recovery. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Lillian, ladies first.
Okay.
What was your journey like up until recovery?
All right. Well, as we all know, if you've been listening for any length of time to this show, as well as been in any of the groups, you realize that recovery is so much more than just the abstinence of a compulsion or a drug or alcohol. Right. So for me, I bottomed out with alcohol. I was dabbling with drugs. That was my beginning point, I guess, when I was about 14 years old. So any substances, I mean, I'm doing anything and everything. Grew
You're
up in
like
a
one
just
of these people that would try
totally
anything.
messed up. Oh yes, and I had some bad trips and everything. But do you think that would stop me? No, just more. And so at some point, I really settled into my drug of choice, which was alcohol. So that's when things really, took a turn.
Well, tell us about it. Did it affect your family life with your parents? Was it that early? How did it
Well, the
affect you?
interesting thing was my dad was an active alcoholic. Okay. And that was part of the problem. Obviously, I grew up in an environment where I never heard, I'm proud of you. I love you. I was a performance addict, I would say, and that led to perfectionism and it led to a whole lot of other things. So, what I'm finding today is that I think addicts, I mean, for me personally, I think a lot of my addiction had more to do with pain management, kind of trying to numb out, trying to fit in. But what I'm seeing more today is like this pleasure seeking. I just want to feel good. I just want to party. I just want to be happy. So there's been a shift, I think.
Well, that's what we really want to focus on you.
Yes.
And
And so for me, it was pain management
where
and wanting to fit in.
okay,
Yes.
where did alcohol take you?
Oh my goodness. All right. So this is how I ended up getting into recovery. My dad went to AA, got sober. He was clean and sober for about 7 years. And so he's using the principles of recovery, basically sharing the 12 steps with us, but never being forceful about it. And I have 3 other sisters, and all of us were just abusing alcohol and smoking pot, variety of different things. But because of the choices that I made, because of the alcohol and being under the influence, in fact, I have to tell you this, on our way here, it was a clear reminder to me of who I was and who I never want to become again. Because we were following someone who was in a truck and he was so out of it. He almost hit, I don't know how many cars. And I just said out loud, God, just get him off the road. And thankfully he pulled off into a gas station. We did, call the police and hopefully to spare
Very good.
his life
Did
and somebody
alcohol affect
else's.
your
But
grades or your relationship?
the interesting thing was it didn't get to the point where it was really bad until in my 20s.
Okay.
And I got married when I was 17 years old. Okay, ridiculous. Let's get out of the family, get away from this. My mom divorced my dad. All of that stuff took place. And that was all a part of his bottom that led him to AA and recovery. But eventually, after that marriage, doing lots of drugs, drinking a lot, all of that, I mean, multiple separations from him, got pregnant, had my daughter. And through that experience and making all these bad choices, I got to a point where when I looked in the mirror, I hated the person that I had become. That's when the suicide attempt happened.
Oh, tell us about it.
Okay. At that point, I thought, I can't do this anymore. And I've hurt everyone in my family. I've disappointed myself, broke all my, morals, values. They'd all had gone out the window. Now I have this child I'm trying to raise. And this was during one of the separations from my first husband. And I just couldn't go on anymore. And so drank a lot, took a bunch of pills. I had heard that if you took enough aspirin in particular, you'd bleed to death internally. Drank,
Yeah.
I don't know how much I drank, and wrote goodbye letters to everybody. Your life's going to be better off without me, that kind of stuff, And it was in that time, and I had already said my dad was modeling sobriety in front of us for 7 years. And so I'm thinking that And I'm thinking about God because when I was a little girl, we had these neighbors that took us to church. And I had someone who kept inviting me to church because, I think they wanted me to get it together, right? And so it was in that moment, in that dark hour, where I really believe God showed up. And you know what he said to me? He said, "You don't want to die. You just don't want to hurt anymore."
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I was like, okay, there must be another way. And I immediately thought of my dad.
Sure.
I never called, and got any kind of medical help. I just went into the bathroom and started to just throw up, making myself throw up. I was so sick. I mean, I really should have been damaged because of what I had done. But 3 days of just being sick, and thankfully, my sister had my daughter at the time, so she was caring for her. I can remember the phone ringing and me answering the phone. I have no idea what I said and what was going on. But right after that, that's when I wanted to get my butt to church, and I wanted to talk to my dad.
And was that your last drink?
Yep.
Very good. When was that?
Oh my goodness. I'm in long-term recovery. So we're talking 40 years, you guys.
Congratulations. You hear
40
that?
years.
40 years, that's right.
Woo! Love and life.
Now, so how old was your daughter then? When you're,
My daughter was 1. So
So she's
thank
never
God
seen
she
mommy?
had a sober mama.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
yes, good.
So thankful.
That's good to this day. So,
So
she's
thankful.
she's 40 years old now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So that you still look very young, and then so you called your dad. Did you immediately start going to meetings in church?
Well, he said, well, one of the first things that I asked him was, well, do you think I have a problem? He said, I can't tell you that. You have to figure that out on your own. He said, I can give you some information so you can figure it out. So he gave me all the AA literature, right? And the traditions and the 12 steps and the checklist. And if you check all, the number of these and you may have a drinking problem, all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
I remember the first time I went
Yeah.
to treatment, and there was this questionnaire with. I don't remember how many questions were on it, but there were a lot. And I think I checked everyone off except for one because it had to do with if you're a woman or something, and that's the only one I didn't check
yeah,
off.
I hear you. That's
So,
how I felt.
Get a
too.
really good score.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then you
I-
find out that you're in the soup.
But
and
it's
Joy,
funny.
you
It's
heard,
funny though, because you're still not convinced oftentimes, because that denial is pretty strong. And I really thought I'm going to go to meetings and I'm going to learn how to drink socially again.
A lot of people.
I wasn't ready to give it up completely until I went and I started hearing other people's stories.
So you heard what Lillian said. She wasn't willing to give it up because it's our solution to everything that we've had for so many
right.
times, and it works for a period of time, and then it doesn't.
That's right.
And when it doesn't, it turns on us like what is
Like a boomerang.
like a
in the
boomerang,
night.
cutting us to
All but
shreds.
cutting me to
That's
ribbons.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to pause for Lillian and go shoot over to her husband, Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Give us a little bit of background with your situation and what you went through.
Yeah, so mine is completely different. And I want to say this, when we met, I was just stepping into recovery. So
Oops.
I'll tell that story in a minute.
Picking on the newcomer, will you, Lillian?
Well, this is it might be an odd recovery story.
It's
but,
really, it is.
Yeah, so I had my childhood, I had a great childhood, close family. My mom and dad didn't drink, maybe a beer occasionally. But what happened with me was an event. So when I was about 13, my dad started taking me to the gym. We were very close, taking me to the gym. And turned 14, going with him more. And he came home one night and he had chest pains. So took him to the hospital, and the hospital basically made him look like a fool. It could be a hiatal hernia. It could
Right.
be, he came home, not doing that again. So the next week to the day, which was on a Friday, same thing happened. And he came home, and my mom wanted to take him to the hospital. He said, I'm not going back there. I'm not going to look like a fool. So I watched my dad leave this earth right
Yeah.
in front of me on
Yeah.
the bed. So at that time, I'd been involved in music since I was 4. So I was a musician already and playing in little bands, and that I got introduced to alcohol right after that. And I didn't like it at first, but it really became my best friend. And I could consume large amounts, which you wear as a badge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
But-
really a terrible red flag. But yeah, those of us who can drink a lot,
Mhm.
Yeah. And my mom knew I was doing that at home. Our band practiced at home. She knew, but she didn't know what to do, I guess.
Mhm.
Were you an only child as well?
My sister's 13 years older than me.
They're-
She
oh,
got married- she was
oh.
18. So at 5 years old, I was like an only child.
Right.
And I had, like I said, a very pampered childhood. It was, I was given everything I wanted.
So not only you lose your dad, but you lost a companion as well in your
Absolutely.
father. And your story, but we all have our journeys. We all have different journeys that we go through to get to where we go. If you're an addict or an alcoholic, to the point where I say I can't do this any longer. Normally, and not always, the journey consists of hurting the people I love and that love me. Can you tell us how it got in the way of your life?
Well, the thing was with me, and this is part of the, I guess, the oddness of the story, it didn't get in the way of my life so much because I was so high functioning
Mm-hmm.
that I was never late for school. I never ruined a relationship over it. I was never late for work. And my bills, and as I get into my teens and early 20s, I did get my first DUI at 19, a block from our house. But in my 20s, relationships, things are all built, but never a late bill. So I was functioning, it was hurting me inside. All that pain was going on. I didn't know how to deal with it still, like with my dad. And I lost my mom at 29.
Ugh.
She died in my arms of cancer.
Oh, wow.
So kick, in the gut number 2. So I just kept going deeper and deeper into it until I was into my 30s, early 30s. And then I felt like I'm not enjoying this anymore. And one of the things that stirred me was I go to a lot of concerts as well. So one of my best friends was in a band with me. We were at a Leonard Skinner concert and we come up the steps and one of the security guards just looked at me and I went off. And I'm not like that. And my buddy Jim said, something's changed about you. You're not the partier you used to be. And that,
Yeah, so they say, Joy, the alcohol and the drugs are merely a symptom to a greater problem. The problem is me. Lillian said she looked in a mirror, she couldn't stand what she saw. Anger comes out, the frustration of not knowing how to deal with these emotions.
And in his progression, it seemed like your personality changed. And that's one of the questions that I ask people. Does your personality change, when you're drinking or using?
So mainly, and this was never, that one incident was with somebody, but people, never. Everything was good. It was within me. So I'd knock something over, do something, and I would just rage because it was inside of me and I didn't know how to get rid of it.
You didn't
And
know how
that's
to-
part of the progression of alcoholism, not dealing with whatever issues you have and then continuing to pour depressants down your throat.
Yeah. So what happened after that was in my early 30s, I progressed, and then I ended up getting 2 more DUIs.
Mm-hmm.
Within both of these 2 were within like 4 blocks of my house.
Mm-hmm.
So the last one that happened, now at this time I was already involved in the church we went to up north in Michigan. I was involved in the band, stage crew, and all this other stuff. So I knew a lot of people, and so it was awful. It was on August 11th, 2003. It was the last one. And that night I had to spend 12 hours in the dry out tank, and I got home, and for the first time I said, I got on my knees and I said, Lord, I don't want this anymore. I don't want the mindset anymore. And I got off my knees and I opened up my Bible to a passage I'd never read before. And it was in the book of Isaiah 118. It's, although your sins are as red as crimson, I can make them white as wool if you'll only listen. I'm kind of paraphrasing. And from August 11, 2003 to present, I've never thought about alcohol again. It's never crossed my mind one time. I know it might be an odd story, but I feel, and I knew at that time too, God removed that so I could deal with all the junk that was causing it. And that's been, the lengthy part of my journey.
Well, and what Mike's talking about is this spiritual solution to a physical problem that sometimes it happens just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we put the drugs and alcohol down and we get worse. Sometimes we put it down and never pick it up again. But there's always a solution to this problem that we have. And I like to say in my job during the day that I don't have a drinking problem, I have a thinking problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then you happen to say you picked up the Bible. I like to go to the scripture that says, do not be conformed to the ways of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Amen.
And these type of things, because if I change the way I think, then I change the way I live. And I can see a personality change
Mm-hmm.
that comes about from doing something. But I just can't sit there. A pastor, a friend of ours, John Leonard, we used to host the Celebrate Recovery in Cape Coral, Florida, for many years, used to say, "Faith without works is dead, and if you're an alcoholic like me, my works is the 12 steps." And I used to love that because we can sit here and talk about it till the cows come home, but what action am I doing behind it? So what was your next step? What was your next action after that?
I do want to just take a quick step back before that. My second one, we had to go to a hotel for 4 days in this program I was in. They taped the doors, we had the classes all day. And this guy, and I'm going to say his name because if he's listening, thank you, Chuck. Chuck Schneider was his name. He said, 70% of you people out there are going to get a DUI in the next 1 to 2 years. And I turned to the guy next to me and I said, not me.
Right.
And I was before the spiritual awakening, I was at my own strength. And then, months, over a year and a half later, whatever it was, I got one.
Yeah.
So that was like,
And did you
Oh, Chuck,
think,
yeah, Chuck
did you
was right.
think of that at that time? Like,
some things just came like rushing into me. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
But so after that, I had to go to 4 different programs that was part of the recovery. One of them, and this is where we met, was at our church called Life Share. So when I went there, the first night I saw this beautiful 5-foot tall stick of dynamite, I'll call her, giving her testimony about the drugs, alcohol, suicide attempt. And that something about that touched me because I really felt like, you always feel like, am I the only one that's had this particular experience or, the shame's coming over you? So that's how I started. I went to some AA meetings. I went to a program called, I did Celebrate Recovery, and I also did Reformers Unanimous. Now, Reformers Unanimous to me was the most powerful of those type of programs.
Tell us about it.
So it was a lot of scripture memorization too. So we were renewing our mind. So we'd meet, it was kind of the same format, but each week we'd remember scripture and put that into action in our lives, faith with works, and then we come back. So that really helped me because I was already a believer. And then when I came to Life Share, that really changed me because I started to get involved in the groups. I knew people from the church. I started participating in the groups more. I gave my testimony on my 40th birthday. I got involved with their praise band. I was already the drummer in the main band at the church. So that's how it changed to me. It was community. And then I met a guy there. His name was Larry. He's passed on now, but he became like a second father to me. And I ended up calling him Pops, and he called me Sonny. And he'd come over every day because the last ticket I got, I lost my license for 22 months. So he would come over every day, take me to lunch, and he just encouraged me. And he kicked my butt too. He'd call me out, which I needed. And so that was a huge help. So,
It's wonderful. I love hearing the different stories of redemption. The opposite of addiction is connection, and how we find this point that brings about a spiritual change in me, a psychological change in me, my thinking, and a personality change that can bring about recovery, and that's wonderful. What do you two? So that's what you were like. What are you two like today? How long have you been married?
we've been married 19 years, April 28th.
woo woo.
Yeah. And I had to fight for that because when we first met, I knew she was the one. I was 41. I'd never been married, but she didn't know it yet. So that's another story for another day. But
I was like, yeah, thanks, but no.
she says I
thanks.
sicked God on her.
He did.
And are you still involved with music in your praise band at church? Do you play the drums at church?
I do not right now, but we play together off and on. And she's a beautiful singer, beautiful voice, great guitar player. I play drums and guitar, so we do worship.
So, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, I believe if everything goes according to plan, Lillian and Mike will be performing for us next week on the show. Lillian on guitar and vocals, and Mike on a cajon.
All
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
very good.
A drum, African drum, right?
A djembe.
Yes.
No, it's
We'll
not a
djembe.
cajon.
No.
You're not playing a cajon.
I can
No.
get one if you want, but
No, I don't.
He can play those too.
Yeah,
Believe
it's a
me,
djembe.
he's
It's like a
amazing.
conga drum. It's an African drum.
Very good,
Yeah.
very
He
good.
did a drum solo at our wedding. Okay, he can play.
And so, what was life like after you got married? What's life like today? What do you do?
We have had a ministry, which was Life Share. We changed to Life Care. That's gone on since June 30th of 2007. And that started out in Michigan. We've been in Florida 8 years. So that started out in Michigan with groups and it's kind of morphed into some other things now. We wrote a book called Fit in Faith, which is about taking care of your body that God gave you and faith. And then we have Aruka Ranch, which we just started. I'll let Lillian tell you a little more about
What
that.
is Aruka?
Okay, Aruka, Arukah. It's a Hebrew word. I have to spell it because people are like, what? And it's interesting how we actually came up with the name, but it means to heal, restore, and rebuild,
Nice.
to bring into wholeness body, soul, spirit.
Very nice.
So, what you would hear from us is that a lot of what we do today is born out of our own personal frustrations in helping people and even trying to grow and recover ourselves. It's like something's missing. Okay, let's figure out what that is. Okay, all right, let's use that. Let's help people this way and that way. And I've been counseling people for probably 30 years now.
When
And a
you s-
lot of them are in recovery. And it's like, okay, why do some people get stuck? And then why do some people get it? Right? So it's like, okay, we're missing something. So what is that? We have to treat the whole person.
Okay, and so is this a place where, I mean, you said Aruka Ranch, is it a ranch? And I understand the frustration. It comes in all forms and shapes and sizes. Coworkers get frustrated with bosses get frustrated with employees,
Sure.
sponsors with sponsees with sponsors, clergy people.
Husbands and wives.
Yeah.
What? Husband and wives, absolutely.
yes.
Or
Uh-huh.
Joy with me, and we're not even married. So that's one right there for the
Yeah.
books.
But
And
what are you going to do with that frustration? Are you going to be helpful or harmful? Right. So we want to be helpful.
and Aruka Ranch, it sounds. Give us a visual, or,
Yeah.
or the best we can.
Well,
What does it
I
look
always
like?
like to tell people, first of all, it's not a ranch, even though the vision was supposed to be. I'm so sorry, we don't have horses and cows and all
Recovery
of
for
that.
chickens.
However, we do have 5 chickens, and we
have
do
a
have a couple
bunkhouse.
of barns.
You have a bunkhouse.
No, we don't. And see, that was our hope: is that if we had 20 or 30 acres, we could have residential spaces for people to come and stay with us.
Cabins?
No,
How about a fence?
we do have a fence.
Very nice.
Take a fence
Okay.
unit.
Well, that's
And we have 5.4 acres, so at least we have a little bit of
that's a
property.
good size amount of land.
Yes, and we have space where people can come and receive ministry, the counseling, the coaching, fitness, lifestyle coaching and changes that people can make, prayer.
Set up a tent.
Yeah, we can. You know
Very
what?
nice.
We actually put that on the website that if you want to be yes.
Camp there?
Yes,
Oh.
because the pole barn that we put up, we've converted it into this space where we can use it so that people can come and go, or there's a hotel like right up the street and they're willing to give discounts. So if people come from out of state,
Would that happen to be the hotel owned by St. Matthew's House?
oh, that's in LaBelle. I know
Oh,
where, yeah,
thought
we've
you were in
actually had retreats there.
I thought you were in LaBelle.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Punta Gorda.
I went
the
to a thing
event
there.
that we're doing is in LaBelle.
Ah,
Okay,
okay.
the fundraiser, right? Fun raiser.
A
yeah, with the
fundraiser.
bill-
But we're in Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Whatever you want, however you want to say it. Punta Gorda.
Okay.
Yes.
Joy, you were about to say something?
Oh, well, I was just going to ask about the event.
Oh.
Yeah, tell us about the event.
Oh, yeah, that's coming up. That's the one that's in LaBelle at Trinity Spearage Farm. That's in LaBelle. So that's Saturday, September the 26th, 2 to 4. So it's going to be fun. One of the things that we realize is that a lot of times people go to quote unquote fundraisers, and we are more about trying to serve and to give to people, okay, and to make it fun. So this is going to be a lot of fun, like some line dancing. John, you're going to be there, right? You're going to DJ and
I will
for
be
us?
there, and I will,
Woo!
yes, I'll be
Got the
playing
music going.
Very grateful
right?
for that.
Comedy relief here from Mike, and then some auctioneers. It'll be a blast. So we just want to have fun with people.
So that's great because that teaches people that no matter what you're suffering with, that love can be shared and people can have fun even in the depths of despair, even in the depths of addiction. There is fun to be had by all. So give Lillian and Mike a big round of applause.
All right, so is there anything else that you wanted to put out there that we didn't ask?
Yes, please come to our open house. That's happening the last Saturday in August. So you can come and actually see what we have and see if you want to take it
At Aruka Ranch.
At
Yeah,
Aruka
so
Ranch
which is
in Punta Gorda.
Punta Gorda, right.
Yes.
The address and how can we find
Yes.
you
So-
online?
Go to arukaranch.org. Everything that we do, you'll find available there. We have a lot of classes and conferences and workshops and all kinds of stuff coming up.
All right.
Very good. Once again, Mike and Lillian. So we're going to take a small break right now, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we'll be speaking to Mark Collins, who is from the Uncommon Friends Foundation. That will be on our segment we affectionately call Kimmy's Corner. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. We'll be right back.
Struggling with life's challenges? At The Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Feeling trapped in addiction? White Sands Treatment Center offers more than just detox. We build lasting recovery. With 3 inpatient and 18 outpatient locations located throughout Florida, we offer services from medically supervised detox to inpatient, outpatient, and sober living programs. Our services include individual therapy, family therapy, life skills, and small group sizes. Our amenities include yoga and massage therapy with recreational activities, including gyms, pools, and spa. Newsweek has named White Sands one of America's best addiction treatment centers 5 years in a row. You deserve quality care in a safe, supportive setting. Call White Sands Helpline at 833-423-2338 or visit whitesandstreatment.com and start your recovery journey today.
Welcome to Holy Spark. At Holy Spark, we bring power and reliability to every job. From panel upgrades and EV chargers to lighting installations and troubleshooting, we're dedicated to keeping your home and business running safely and efficiently. With expert craftsmanship, honest service, and free estimates, you can count on us to deliver electrical solutions that shine bright. Contact us today at holy-spark.net or call 239-789-6832.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmy's Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmysrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all angels.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. If you haven't already done so, do us a favor, take out your cell phones, go to Rated R for Recovery on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, there's a little bell on that. Anybody know about the bell?
Oh, yeah.
On YouTube, you do? You know
Yeah.
about the bell?
Yeah.
Al, you know about the bell?
No, what about
The bell. If you click on the bell, that means anytime that you get notified. I don't know what you get notified about, but it's something to do with Rated R for Recovery.
Oh.
Eileen looks like she's in a rush to coming up here. Maybe she's got experience with the bell.
What about the bell?
Got some papers.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the second segment of our wonderful podcast that's heard around the world is called Kimmy's Corner, and it's hosted by the one and only founder of Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the man, the myth, the legend, Al Kenkel.
All right. There he is. Well, thank you. And our first guest, fantastic, really unbelievable. I love you guys. You know that. We worked together for quite a while. So thanks for being here tonight. And John, as always, thank you so much. And I love you, Joy, over here. And we have Mark Collins here tonight. And he's going to talk a little bit about Uncommon Friends. And Mark is very passionate about the and advocate of the arts, education, and historic preservation, nonprofit collaboration. Mark has supported numerous organizations, including this one here, Solace Care, the American Cancer Society, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Lee Health Foundation, Arts, ACT, LARC, Florida Gulf Coast University, and PACE Center for Girls.
That's a lot.
Yeah, he does a lot. So I like to say when I talk about Mark, you know, he hasn't met an organization that he hasn't fell in love with and helped out in any way that he can if he's asked, you know. So Mark, thanks so much for that. And our foundation is the Uncommon Friends, and you know, in Clarity, I am on the board with that, and Mark is the president of that board. So the foundation continues to expand the scholarship programs, business ethics, and character education efforts while preserving the historic Burroughs Home and Gardens and the Langford Kingston Home. So, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Mark is known for bringing people together and strengthening Southwest Florida community with collaboration, service, and leadership rooted in the integrity and the purpose, and with a lot of purpose. So tonight, you know, Mark, we want to talk about, of course, Uncommon Friends and what your role is there. But one of the things that I think would be interesting is to tell us a little bit about who started the Uncommon Friends, the very, very beginning, and
All
then
right.
you can go on from there.
All right. First of all, thanks for having me. It's great to be
Thanks
here.
for being-
Always good to be with Al. When I took this job, I guess I'm going on 4 years now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was on the board, and this is the organization's 33rd year. And, you know, there's always ebb and flow.
Yeah.
And it was definitely needing to recharge. So officers met and said, Brian Riss met with me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I've got the greatest idea in the world. Will you support it? And I said, well, yeah. He said, no, you got to promise. And I said, well, okay, I'll do whatever you say we're going to do. I figured, you know, you can't go to jail for trying to help people. He said, good. We met and we want you to be the executive director. And I said, oh my God, I've never been the director of anything. I've always been on the other side of philanthropy. And I thought about it, talked to a lot of people, and you know, I talked to people whose opinions I really valued, Al being one of them. And at the end of our conversation, he said, you know we're friends. You know I've always been there for you. I'll always support you. I said, good. Would you serve on the board? And he said, yes, a resounding So I've been there going on 4 years. The original Uncommon Friends were Edison, Ford, Lindbergh, Carell, and Firestone. Jim Newton was a longtime resident of Fort Myers Beach and Fort Myers, and he had a personal relationship with all of these 5 men, which is pretty incredible because those are like, of that century, the greatest innovators and the greatest minds. They all didn't know each other because their ages are different.
Right.
Ford and Edison were the best of friends, obviously with the summer home or the winter homes here. But if you read the book Uncommon Friends, their whole relationship, and trust me, I've always put this out there, none of them were perfect.
Oh, yeah.
As are
no one.
None of us are perfect. I mean, we've heard great stories tonight of imperfection, doing their best to become refined and as perfect in God's eyes and within our own eyes and others' eyes as we can be. And so they weren't perfect, but what they did is they got together, and Jim Newton had these conversations of saying, here's a big problem. How do we make it better for everyone? So, with Henry Ford, you know, the mass production of cars, affordable.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just about the, you know, the top 1% that could have cars. Edison, making electricity affordable. Carell, a lot of people don't know about Dr. Alex Carell. They still teach his methods. What he developed became basically the catalyst for transplants.
Wow.
Organ transplants.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I mean, he was very, one of our
Analytical.
supporters, very, Ralph Garamone is a good friend of mine, and when he found out he was a part of it, he said, I'm just shocked. He said, enough people don't know about Dr. Carell. They still teach his methods, and it's still we wouldn't have modern medicine without him. You know, and a lot of people don't know this, Al, but those were, before I move on, those were the 5, and Jim just had these conversations. So when I came to Uncommon Friends, the first thing I did is talk to people and said, you know, it's maybe it's run its course. Maybe we take what we have left and just merge it into another organization and kind of help them. And so I said, give me 2 weeks. I got to think about this. And the more I talked to people and the more that I thought on it, read on it, prayed about it. And I'll never forget, Kelly Burns was on my first board, and she said, we need it more now than ever. Because we need those principles of taking people for just where they are and coming up with solutions. And so I was like, absolutely. And I've had people say, have you lost your mind? How are you going to make it work? And I always tell my board, Al can tell you, when I come up with ideas we're going to do, they'll say, how are you going to fund it? I say, I have no idea.
You're right.
We're going to try it, and I'm going to come up with the money some way, somehow. And so we have kind of taken the same basic principles of the founding board. You know, we want those good character. They used to teach in the school system, the Uncommon Friends curriculum. That was a long time ago, and of course, you know, they would not teach that in the school system now because it's quite extensive, and honestly, our teachers don't have time to teach that. So what we've done is we've kept that piece of the puzzle, but we've turned it into community service. Right now, this week will be our 4th week of summer camp. We partner with other organizations. Throughout our whole conversation, you're going to hear me talk about every organization in the world because I think that's what makes us Uncommon Friends. And, you know, we're just trying to take those kids and teach the principles of the Uncommon Friends, but teach it in a different, relevant way.
Right.
You know, I told Al, I said, I'm sure in 30 years, y'all are not going to be doing the same thing you are. And if you are, there's a problem.
Probably not in 30 minutes.
Well, I agree with that.
Could be. And so what are some of the principles?
Well, our mission is to inspire the future leaders towards excellence of character, a spirit of innovation, and a sense of purpose.
Okay, so leadership skills. And who is it for? What ages?
Our camp is, this is only our 2nd year to do the camp. They had never done a camp.
Camp was great.
And I thought this is a way we can again make uncommon friends and engage the community. So we reached out the first 2 years with Quality of Life Center and with the PALS, Fort Myers Police Athletic League. And we take students from their program out of their camp to do our program. So what we did is we came up with a life skills enrichment program for 6 weeks. And we asked the kids that we kind of came up with our own curriculum the first year and then said, what do you want? So we molded it. Interesting enough, our age group is probably, I'm going to say from 12 to 15. We have 35 students a week. And they brought to us, we did things like last year, Galloway was a great partner.
It always is.
Yeah.
Just incredible. First year they came to us. This year we took the kids to the dealership and spent the day, how to change a tire, how to check the air in a tire, how to check the oil in a car, things that, and I'm 54, we learned in high school. We had to, in Alabama, I'm from Alabama, we had to take home ec and shop and driver's ed, all of these things that they don't, but we're teaching life skills. The second week, I believe it was aviation, and our friend Dr. Claire has a organization here that's a non-for-profit. He brought in a tower control officer from Palm Beach. He had 4 speakers, and I kept thinking, gosh, I hope these kids really grasp. They asked questions for an hour and 15 minutes solid till we finally were like, okay, we have to have lunch now.
Yeah.
But they're so hungry, because he started off saying, how many do you know what aviation is? Yeah. Would you like a job? Well, no, I don't want to fly a plane. And he so beautifully broke down all the different areas. Same at Galloway. Have you ever thought about working at a dealership? I don't want to sell cars.
Right.
Well, here is so what we're trying to do is open the eyes. At Galloway, for instance, they have employees that have been there for over 30 years. That's your career.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're treated well. They pay for education. So we want to be a small part of exposure. This last week we did STEM, and we were at our friends at the Imaginarium. But then we're doing things like the last week. They wanted to know table etiquette and social etiquette. That's one of the things they ask for.
Absolutely.
You put what do we do? How do you greet somebody? We're also going to have a section that is on social media etiquette. So we're just having to look at things differently and adapt what we do. I think of all of our purposes, the one that resonates the most in me, and Al and I were talking before this started, the sense of purpose.
Right. Yeah. It's important.
It
So
is
important.
so important.
Yeah.
Everybody needs purpose.
Yeah. And I think when you're teaching them something like that, going over to Galloway and things like, you open their eyes, like not everybody goes to a 4-year college, 2-year college, whatever it might be, or 10-year college, depending on what avenue you take.
And not everybody wants to.
No,
Right.
I didn't, number one. And then you talk about etiquette is what I learned is food and beverage when I was a young boy, quit school,
Sure.
and bingo. I went in there and, in a couple years, I was managing places and wound up owning restaurants the rest of my life. And with no education, basically. I didn't get education until in my 40s is when I really went back to school.
Right.
But that's important to show them there's other things. And then talking to the kids today is a big difference too, because we use this so much and our phones and things like that. A lot of people don't talk and they don't
Correct.
have those bigger conversations. I think that's so important.
And
Good for
even
Galloway.
food and beverage doesn't mean just like being a waiter or
No.
owning a restaurant. There
No.
are so many jobs.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and the restaurant industry is huge in
Yeah.
Southwest Florida.
Oh, yeah.
You can make
It
some
is.
money.
Big time. Yeah. I
Well,
wanted to be a chef.
That's one of the
My
things.
stepson is.
I couldn't cook, so.
One of our areas that we do are the scholarships. Now we've had people that apply who have gone to New York University. Our target is not that. If you've got tons of scholarship dollars, I hear about some of these kids, which God bless them,
Yeah.
I can get anything hardly.
Go.
They don't need us.
Yeah.
What we're looking for, maybe you don't test well, but you have a desire. We also pay for trade schools.
Right.
If you're a single mother, you've had to drop out. We have all kinds of scholarship programs that, that's something I've looked at growing. And we partnered some organizations. Valerie's House is a prime example. Lark, they give us money. And people said, why would one organization give you the money? Because we match their donation 100%. I don't care if people get $500. I love these specific, and we let the organizations kind of write the curriculum for what that entails. We have some generals, but we just want to be there to help people. Not everybody's had the greatest life. They got kicked out of school, but they have a desire. So my first year, I think our scholarship program had gotten down to, we probably only had maybe 20 applications or less. And our scholarship committee had a meeting, a luncheon on Sunday, and they called me. They had 114 applications this year.
So somebody's getting the word out. So say I'm a kid and I want some help and I don't know what to do. How do I find you? What do I do?
You can go to www.uncommonfriends.org. And we just got a new website, thanks to a grant from the VCB, and it has drop downs. And the scholarship, it describes everyone. We make it very simple. We try to keep things as simple as possible because our intent is just to help. We have a volunteer committee. We obviously do not charge for any of that. We want every dollar that's raised to go straight to the individual. And they can apply every year. We have some that applied for like 4 or 5 this year. So that's one of the biggest pieces that we intend to grow. Al and I've talked for several years. One thing that is on my heart, I want a scholarship for people who've had addiction or substance abuse issues who want to, their next step, or one of their steps is to go back to what they wanted. And I want them to have the money available. Here again, purpose,
Yeah.
And so is that your age range?
Our age
12
range?
to 17?
No, that's the camp. So
Okay.
anybody can apply for scholarships.
Right.
Usually the junior and senior year is when we really start seeing, although we do have college students who are in college who apply every year.
Okay.
So you work with so many nonprofit organizations, and I can't count how many you worked with and helped out along the way. And during that journey, what have you found out about our nonprofits and what they're doing in the community, and what would we do without them? What would it look like without them?
Well, I'll start by saying, through traveling, through life in general, and really studying non-for-profits, I don't know of another city and county combined who does more for people than ours.
Yeah.
I have found people so willing to give. Do I think getting donations is harder? The world has been in a weird spot for quite a few years, and I laugh about it now, but I didn't then. I took this job. The second week I was there, Ian hit. Well,
Hurricane Ian, yeah.
Hurricane Ian. And people were like, how did the mansions do? I said, I don't even have a key. I don't even know how to get in the place. So my first few years, were just, and Al can tell you, our board meetings were so boring because it was just constantly, we have to get them fixed through a grant from the city. The Burroughs home is absolutely incredible now. But the non-for-profit community, I have found, especially since COVID, Ian, all of this, I feel like we're tighter.
Mm-hmm.
People used to be more territorial, in my opinion. That's never been my heartbeat. My heartbeat has always been collaboration. But I think people are very conscious. They don't mind giving. They want their money to go to the cause. One thing we're doing this year, we've always had this huge gala that costs a lot of money and all this. We're not doing it.
Right.
We're doing,
not looking for it.
yeah, we're just doing dinners within the mansions, within homes, because if people give us money, I don't want that to pay for
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Trust me, I have thrown $1 million of them and shared them.
Yeah.
But for where we are, as an organization, we need that money to go in the hands and the programs that we're offering. But I can't imagine Southwest Florida without the non-for-profit community.
Well, what you just said, and I think we say it a lot, we talk about it here a lot, with all of us talk about it, and Lee County has changed so much over the last 10 years. I mean, it used to be just Naples where you would find, the big charitable events and things like that, and then all of a sudden Fort Myers caught on. And Fort Myers, I've never seen a group, if you asked, you shall receive, working together and collaborating, and we all do that. And at one point in time, it wasn't that way at all.
Agreed.
So today you hit it right.
I believe it started with a group of people years and years ago. John Bafar, Brent Shetterman, Cat Epple. These are people that had always had that mindset. A dear man that passed away of cancer not so long ago was Dr. John Fenning.
Yeah.
And John and his wife Fran would hold fundraisers at their home, which was on by the river. And that's where I got to meet Jim Eaton, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
DJ Wilkins, who did the statue downtown.
Yes. Yeah.
These were a core of people that were always there.
Yeah.
And the basis for what is now a growing with what
Community.
you're doing now and the foundation and the camp and stuff like that, that was started with those few people back in the day when I was so blessed to be able to be accepted into that world back then, and we got to help a lot with that with those fundraisers that went along back then.
Yeah, because they wanted everybody to be involved. And, if you look back, can you imagine them planning these things that they planned back in the 20s and 30s and 40s? And today it still goes on. So 100 years later.
Yeah, and that's
it's still
exactly
going
how
on.
John and Fran were. Now,
Yeah.
Naples was this huge gorilla that was, had a lot of,
Right.
But those few group of people that just held that vision,
Yeah.
kept it going. Sorry to
Right.
interrupt.
No, it's good. It's a good way.
Fran is one of my very best friends. We're together a lot. And they were so involved, like with Arts for Act, with Robert Rauschenberg and Florida Rep. They were so devoted to this community.
And the
still
arts,
so.
and the Arts for Act, when they had the art festival for high school kids, I forget what it was called, but kids would come from all over to attend workshops on painting, on theater, on dance, and all sorts of different things.
Yep. And it's so nice, and Fran and I've talked about this a lot. It's very nice to see she's not like, I don't want to call them the old guard, but those people. And I think part of their responsibility, and I know she feels it, even with her grandchildren, is to pass that on. That same spirit of you're part of a community. This is part of your calling, no matter what you do, is to give back. And it's very important. And so I love seeing people, and I think that's part of the mentorship. And I see it in so many great organizations. The mentorship programs are so important. Sandy, I was talking to Gail Markham. She couldn't come to something the other night. She said, I would love to be there, but my mentee, I think she said she's had for 13 years.
Yeah.
And she said, she's part of my family.
Yeah.
But when you embrace those kids, and this is what my heart was, we started reaching out because we do a huge Christmas deal that's open to the city once a year on the grounds. And we used a Girl Scout troop from Dunbar. And it was such my heart. I want every child that when they drive by, because we do have people that say, I'm bringing my kids. My grandparents brought me to the Burroughs home for Christmas each year. Great. I want everybody to have those stories and say, we would go every Christmas. They had free ice cream. Thank you, Lee County Sheriff's Department. We had activities that the community provided. And that was the bequeathment. The Uncommon Friends and the Burroughs are two totally separate gifts. Two totally. I feel like we're doing a better job because we've moved Uncommon Friends, everything out of the Burroughs home. It's now in the Langford Kingston home. Just a little piece of trivia a lot of people don't know. Kingston invented the carburetor and was friends with Ford.
Makes sense.
So, there you have it. But I want everybody to have these great opportunities. The Burroughs wanted that home to be available to everyone, the first year we did Easter, Will Prather was there, and he said, I brought my drone, and I actually got all teary-eyed at night because for the first time ever, and I've been here 35 years, the first time I had ever seen from that view, we probably had 60 kids running around hunting eggs and the Easter Bunny, and I thought, that's what the Burroughs, that was the intent of the gift, to serve as a living museum and for all the people of Southwest Florida.
And we have such a rich history here, with the Uncommon Friends that started that you talked about, and the Burroughs home and the Langford Kingston homes, which are gorgeous and part of our history. And it's, once you get into it, once you look at it, it's amazing to know what's going on here.
It is. And unfortunately, well, I'm not saying, we need to preserve what we have left.
Yes.
Because there's a lot, we see it go away, but you can't rebuild what that is.
And if you go, every time I go in there, my breath is taken away, believe it or not. As soon as I walk into there, and if you look around, there are some nice newer homes and different things like that, but that's real history right there.
It is.
And those two homes sitting there, and when you do things,
that whole neighborhood actually.
Yeah, the whole neighborhood.
Yeah,
historic district.
It's really a shame because that whole stretch used to be Millionaires Row,
right?
And I think there are only 6 of the houses left.
Yeah, there's
if
not
you go
many.
far enough, which is a shame. But I'm glad there's still 6. I'm glad it's not 2 or 3.
You said something about giving back, and you talked earlier about helping in the recovery world. Well, and that's what we give. We give what was freely given to us without making money off of it or doing that. That's what we do, and that's what we love to do. Can you tell the audience how they can benefit your organization?
I will. And then I want to go back and comment on something you just said, because I have a great example that just happened yesterday. So if you want to find out more about us, our website again is www.uncommonfriends.org. There's tons of information you can find about the Burroughs home. It'll take you to their website. You'll see activities. You can read about our scholarship program. You'll find educational opportunities. And you'll also see my cell phone. I do not make myself where I'm not available. I think, and sometimes I'm going to tell you, and that can get a little old with someone's, but I think, I've been on panels and they say, if you had to give one piece of advice to people, what was your greatest piece of advice for what you do? People have to like you and they have to trust you.
That's it.
If people like you, and that's on you, they're actually both on you. There's nothing more great than a handshake, a hug.
To do what you say you're going to do, to be trustworthy.
Follow through. Just follow through, no matter what.
Yep. You got it.
But you're talking about the giving, expecting nothing in return. I was talking to a girl actually at Publix day before yesterday, and she said, I don't even know how we got in the conversation, because I'll talk to anybody. And I said something about, or she was talking about her abuse, drug abuse. And I said, well, what are you doing? Because we have such great resources. Well, I know. And she said, they've used Narcan on me 3 times. I said, okay. And she said, but if you go to Publix, I can't afford it. And I said, you can get free Narcan. And Al gave me a bunch, and I keep it in the car, and I hand it out. And I think one of the greatest things ever that's happened to this community and what you all have done with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally saves lives.
Thank you. Thank you.
It literally saves lives.
Yeah. And I'll give you another example of that, and means I have the opportunity to say it because people need to know that. I had a police officer come in here the other day, and he said he wanted to pick up some Narcan, and he said the other day I saved somebody with the Narcan that you had given us. And I've heard that many, many times, and all the staff has heard that too. So that Narcan, when, again, things have changed. I remember when there was a time where they didn't want us to give the Narcan out because that will keep them using, No, it wakes them up and gives them another day to recover, and that's what that does, buys them more time. And we've gotten a lot of people that we've Narcan that not only have done great out here in the world, but also work right here at this place right here.
That's right.
After that,
That's
Narcan.
great.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I remember the first time I met Al. I don't even know if Al remembers the very first time I met him. I was on Salos Care Board, so I had heard about Al Kinkle. And then my best friend, Stephanie Davis' husband, is a good friend of Al's. They were in the same business. And but I met you out at Westminster for a fundraiser. And I knew the minute we shook hands, we were going to be instant friends. There was just like a kindred spirit. And so I never take those opportunities for granted. And Al is one of those people, and I refer people to Al. Even sometimes he has nothing to do with it, but I don't know what to do with him. But I think, well, my God, Al know.
Yep.
No wonder all
Figure it out. I don't know.
He's got my phone number on the wall in the bathroom. Call Al.
But I find there are people who just want to help. So if I could encourage anybody, and I've had people say, well, I can't give the way you do. That's okay. Everybody has something to give.
Yeah.
Time, treasures. There's always something you can do. Maybe it's you come down here and help organize food. That costs you nothing, but it gives an irreplaceable value to the people that you're servicing.
Thank you.
And it's not just the act, it's the being there. That when someone comes in, there are people there doing things for no stated purpose. And you do notice that. You know, there are people willing to help for nothing.
One of the greatest things I see is lately is that Kimmy's Recovery Zone has got a group of people that go into the Grace Church at the corner of Edison and Grant every Friday afternoon and provide a wonderful array of food to feed the homeless. And just to dish out a scoop of mashed potatoes is giving back.
It is.
Or go to Lions Park and see what we have to be grateful for. Because it's a wonderful thing to be able to. It makes us feel good. That's the benefit of giving back.
Right.
Even though we don't give back with expecting anything in return, all of a sudden I finish the day and go, yeah, I feel all right.
Right.
I feel okay.
All of us in recovery are big giver backers, and then talking about that, just so people understand something, a lot of the people, especially if they're in the homeless category, basically they don't get to talk to anybody, and now they come down, they get a hot meal, and we have I don't know how many volunteers and how many of the staff there greeting them, saying hello to them. There's nobody to really talk to. So once a week they get out of wherever they've been, and they come over there, and the treatment they get from the staff that we have and the volunteers we have is just a godsend. Because again, if you walk through anywhere and just say hello to somebody, it might be the only hello they get. So kindness and love, got to spread it, man.
That's the truth.
Very good.
So true.
All right, let's give Mark a big round of applause.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Al, was there anything else on your agenda there that before we go to commercial?
No, Mark, you did fantastic. And like I said, Mark is one in a million, and we support everything you do, as you know that, and you support us. And I think the community definitely is working together to make it a better community than it ever was. And we can't do it alone. We're doing it together, and God bless each and every one of you out there.
Great job. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have closing comments from Al, Joy, and myself. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. We'll be right back.
All right.
Struggling with life's challenges? At The Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen. but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Feeling trapped in addiction? White Sands Treatment Center offers more than just detox. We build lasting recovery. With 3 inpatient and 18 outpatient locations located throughout Florida, we offer services from medically supervised detox to inpatient, outpatient, and sober living programs. Our services include individual therapy, family therapy, life skills, and small group sizes. Our amenities include yoga and massage therapy with recreational activities, including gyms, pools, and spa. Newsweek has named White Sands one of America's best addiction treatment centers 5 years in a row. You deserve quality care in a safe, supportive setting. Call White Sands Helpline at 833-423-2338 or visit whitesandstreatment.com and start your recovery journey today.
Welcome to Holy Spark. At Holy Spark, we bring power and reliability to every job. From panel upgrades and EV chargers to lighting installations and troubleshooting, we're dedicated to keeping your home and business running safely and efficiently. With expert craftsmanship, honest service, and free estimates, you can count on us to deliver electrical solutions that shine bright. Contact us today at holy-spark.net or call 239-789-6832.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bail Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bail Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bail Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmy's Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmysrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
So normally, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rated R for Recovery. Like us on YouTube. Just a reminder for the Party in the Park, Kimmy's Recovery Zone fundraiser every year, September 12th, starting at 11 o'clock at Lake Kennedy Center. And then the Country and Western fundraiser for the Arcua, is that correct? Aruca Ranch. That will be on the following weekend, September 26th. Joy, you got any closing comments?
I just want to say thanks for staying with us long. We love you.
Stay sober, my friends. See you next week.
Bye.